AAL 716, the desktop appraisals next generation valuation, and AAL 706, calculating and supporting adjustments.
I don't think so.
Those are just two that I just, the top, that just looked like, you know, they're not anything we've seen before, or I didn't know if Columbia Institute is something that has.
Columbia does a lot of classes.
All right.
Yeah, no, I looked at them because, so since I approved them, without them seeing them, they must have had AQB approval.
Okay.
Because I only did the ones that had AQB approval. The rest I sent to Linda and Sean.
All right, I'm good. Next.
Yeah, I have a quick question, taking a look at these on the farmers. Did the AQB grant them 8 hours of CE? Because it's been traditionally 7 hours of CE. When I'm looking at class 699, AAL class 700, class AAL 701, I see 8 hours on there. Are we being consistent with others at 7 that we've given in the past? Or
They,
okay?
they didn't have AQB approval, but all of their courses are 8 hours. All the
Okay.
ones we've approved in the past are 8 hours,
Okay,
or a majority of them.
okay, very good. Any other questions with the classes? Hearing none, can I have a motion for approval or denial, or put a motion on the floor?
Jerry, before you do that, do you need to make does someone need to make a motion to add it to the agenda? The original agenda, or is it fine?
It can't hurt to have a motion. Can I have a motion for supplemental agenda 1 dated December 9th, 2020, as well as supplemental agenda 2 dated December 9th, 2020?
I make a motion as Jerry just stated.
John's
second
made the, Linda is a second. Comments? Vote ayes.
Aye.
Aye.
Linda?
Aye, sorry.
Okay, very good. Okay, motion, abstentions or noes? Okay, it passes. All right, so we've taken care of the court side of the fence. Okay. Before we will, is there anything pressing under the new business, Linda or Vicky or Terry Jo?
One quick thing, we had an email from Mike Elliott, who's the Director of Licensing Services, and they are looking to streamline and reduce costs. So they are looking to, going forward, the appraisal licenses along with real estate and most other licenses will just be emailed, the renewals. The actual license itself, it'll look exactly like it comes to you in the mail, but you will get it via email and you can print it out yourselves. So that's just an FYI, but that's how they will do it going forward. And if someone does not have an email address or actually really does need a physical copy that they can't print out themselves, then they will mail one, but the cost of mailing is astronomical, so.
Yeah, I can't imagine that an appraiser getting a license wouldn't have a, you know.
Right, and most of,
I mean, that's
what
like,
do you normally do? You just scan it in to add to your reports anyway, so.
right. This
So
would be
I
easy.
didn't think there would be an issue with it.
As holding of 50 different state licenses, this is probably the way 42 or 43 of them are doing it.
Mhm.
So, yeah, we're entering the real world. Okay. Anything else on the new business side?
No,
All right then. Now we have under old business, number 1 on the agenda, Monica. And could we please unmute her mic?
Hey, Jerry,
Yes.
real quick, did we vote on everything? We just voted on the agenda, right?
Yes. Oh, you know what? You know, I think you're right, Norris. Thank you. The courses, we need a motion for the.
Yeah, we didn't vote on the courses.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Can I get we voted to put it on the agenda, my error. Thank you, Norris. Can I get a motion on the courses?
I'll make a motion to approve the courses as noted.
Okay, Linda with a motion, a second.
I'll second it.
Norris with a second, and a big thank you from me. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, vote aye.
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 Nays? Abstentions? It passes. Again, big thank you. Sorry about that on my oversight. Okay, now we're coming back to old business number one, Monica. And I do not want to mispronounce your name, Monica, so I apologize if you could, so I enunciate it correctly. How do you say your last name?
Siaka.
Thank you, Monica Siaka. Okay, Linda Robitaille, could you give us a quick overview, please?
I sent you guys the log, and Jerry, you and John each picked some samples as it's a commercial. She's looking to upgrade to certified general. Everything was in her file correctly. It's just the review of her samples now before she can take the exam. Excuse me. Monica, is your sponsor on? Oh, okay.
Very good. Good morning, Mike. Good morning.
Hey, Jerry,
Monica.
how are you?
Fine, thank you. John, did you, I know, took a review of some reports as well as I did. Do you have any questions or?
Yeah, I just got just one little thing. I wanted to jump in on the one in New Milford. All right, I thought the report was very good. I commend you, but just a couple of comments. Just trivial. One is, USPAP says state and analyze any pending sales, previous sales, etc. So I just want to caution you, maybe you might want to be a little more detailed in discussing any pending sales and little, that's it. Just keep it, be a little more conscientious going forward with that. That's something that we've been seeing more of. The other thing is on your tables in your community section. I assume you're referencing CoStar, and just speak. You underneath like your labor statistics, you put down source Connecticut Department of Labor, but I noticed that you didn't put down the source for some of the CoStar charts, etc. Just throwing that out to caution you that that's something that I've heard them cracking down on some one appraiser in particular. The other thing I want to mention is if you go to, real quickly, because I know we're pressed for time here, but if you go to your assessment section, which I believe is page,
Hello?
can you hear me okay?
Yeah, sorry, something was happening with my connection. Everybody was breaking up.
Yeah, I heard that a little bit too. So if you go to your assessment section, which I believe is page, help me out here. I'm getting there. If you'll see your assessments, you'll see that the 100% value that the town has for the two properties, and I'm just going to talk in general the way you have in the order, the 100% values that they are, and they just went through a reval, I believe, is 342,900 and 265,000, which is a lot lower than what you're coming up with in terms of value, okay, on the two.
Mhm.
And I noticed that you used the actual taxes. And if you look, you gave tax comparables, which I think you gave operating expense comparables, which I think is fantastic. But if you look at your operating expense comparables you gave, the taxes are all even higher on all those, yet your taxes are only $1 something a square foot, etc. So my question to you is, when you have a property, you're doing an income approach, and your value is coming up a lot higher than what the assessment is there something you think you should do to just check that? Perhaps I didn't phrase that question too clearly. Is there another way to do the income capitalization approach underneath an equitable assessment without, not considering the existing taxes? And since I'm not being too clear on my question, let me answer it and move on. Is a tax loaded overall rate? So I know that
We have done that before, but sometimes the banks give us a little pushback on that. And
Oh, go ahead.
they don't really like that approach with tax loading on the pro forma side. So we try to, and we have the last couple of reports given them a sort of a table survey of other other similar properties in the area and their taxes, and we try to break them out on a square footage basis and sort of give them a scenario in that sense. But yes, I understand where you're coming from. And it hasn't happened a lot, but we have gotten some pushback in doing it the way you just described from banks.
Yeah, I'm just going to warn you that I don't think you should be pushing back too. I do a lot of tax appeal work in there for municipalities, and it seems to be a very common thing. So just, as a check going forward, pay attention to that. If your assessment is lower than your value, then you need to back up and take a look at that, and so that you don't end up overvaluing the property.
Okay.
Often we rely on investors and assume that the contract price is correct, reflect the market value, but investors aren't often as astute, and it's something often overlooked, and that's part of our job, I think, in doing, analyzing a property. Is there something out of line in the property? Do a great job in the report identifying the property, showing photos. I thought you handled the extraordinary assumption was great, and just the showing the comparables for the two extractions for the overall rate from the market for each different property, because it's in two different property segments of the market, which I think is great. It's very difficult to write in a report like that when you have that, so I commend you on that. I just want to point out those few things. So I think you did a good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm done.
No more, John, no other questions?
No.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Yaka, Jerry Rasmussen here. I thought your reports are more than fine, job well done. And I'm not going to have a question, but I'm going to have a statement here. And it's a little bit different, but I hope you'll understand where I'm coming from to help you and Mike as well going forward here. When you're doing medical office buildings, which I had to look at the property, there's been a movement in the last, within the last year, but even more emphasized right before COVID hit, and it is not stopping from the Department of Justice. There is something called the Stark Law components or the amendments that come into play. In addition to that, there's something called the Rubino Act now that is coming into play. And what happens here is just make sure that, and I'll just paraphrase the Stark Law very quickly here. It means that everything, if a healthcare network comes and takes over a individual practice, that any rent, sale, or expenses are done within the market parameters. If they are not, therefore, then the Department of Justice comes in, and I have seen at least a half a dozen times over the summer here that they are levying fines on appraisers of $15,000. That's the magic number that's out there. So if you're doing a job, and I'm just going to make up a fee of $3,000, $3,500, whatever that number may be, that's kind of whack that hits you. Now, I will tell you, it used to be thought that the Stark laws really applied to the bigger buildings, or that they were on campus and so forth. With the proliferation of taking over, single practice orthopedics or single, a general practice or a GP or so forth, and you're looking at the 2,500 square foot, doctor's building down the street, or a dentist or a chiropractor or whatever, they have made an increased focus in that arena. So I just want you to be aware moving forward, if you don't have a copy of the Stark laws, you may want to get a hold of them just to protect yourself moving forward. I'm not being critical. It's just a big warning flag, which is going on. They used to not give a dang about these smaller practices. They've made it an incredible focus in that arena. The second thing that goes with that.
But Jerry?
Yes. Yeah.
Where do we find the detail on that? That we can actually get a good summary and sources and things like that.
Yeah, Mike, just go right to the Google, right out of the box, the Stark Amendment, okay? STARK,
Okay.
and they will give you that, Mike, okay?
Yeah, thanks.
You're more than welcome. The other thing on the Rubino Act, which is an offshoot of that, it really comes into play if you have a religious organization with the kind of components that come with the Stark Law components. So i.e., if the Catholic Church runs a, when they had the St. Joe's Medical Center in Stamford, let me use that for an example, and they were going to look at something at a practice over on Mill River, okay, still in Stamford and so forth, they have certain components that you have to follow under that thing, and it really pertains a lot to women's health practices and so forth. So I just say that in your practice moving forward in your career, that a lot of people say anyone can do an MOB. You know, I've heard it over and over, but I've watched these anyones now find themselves having to come up with $15,000 in a fine because they didn't follow the practice. That's all I'm just saying. It's a big move that's happening in this little sector of the business that many people wouldn't be aware of. So you handed in a sample on a medical office building. You did a fine job. No questions on your work. I'm just saying moving forward, you're going to want to be aware of that. Okay?
Thank you.
You're more welcome. I have no other questions or anything. I just saw a note pop up a moment or two ago. I think that we have Shauna on. Shauna, can you hear us?
Yeah, finally.
Okay.
I've
good.
been
Oh, there
I've
you
been
are.
in and out of here for like the last 15 minutes, it feels like, and for some reason I never got connected. I got kicked out 3 times too.
Okay, so
Well,
you're
you're there and we can see you too.
Now,
oh, there you go. Okay. Shauna, do you have any questions on this applicant
no.
or Norris or Linda?
No, I'm okay.
I'm hearing none.
I'm
Can I-
good.
Okay, hearing none. Can I have a motion?
I make a motion to accept her work.
John, a motion. Can I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Questions, comments? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote. Ayes,
Aye.
Aye.
Bye.
ayes, and abstentions. As you know, I can't vote unless there's a tie. So thank you. Good luck with your career and enjoy the holidays.
Thank you.
Very good. Be well. You're more than welcome to stay on and listen to everything that goes on, or you're more welcome to say, man, let me go get a cold beverage. You know, I'm through this and enjoy a little holiday spirit. So good for you. Okay. Be well. Thank you now.
Thanks.
Take care, thanks.
Good job.
Number 2 on old business is Timothy Hagan. Mr. Hagan, can we unmute his mic, please?
Yep, I'm here.
Good morning, sir.
Good
How are you?
morning. Good, how are you?
Wonderful, thank you. I see that we have an RCR applicant seeking log approval and sample selection. Linda Robitaille, I turn that over to give the commission members a brief overview.
Tim was here a couple months ago. Linda and Shauna requested 2 more samples to be sent to, for review. I forwarded those to you over the weekend, I think it was. So, you know, he sent them, he's back. So that's where we stand.
Okay. So you've sent those to Shauna or Linda?
I
or
sent it to
both?
all of you.
Okay, very good. So anyone have any questions or concerns that
Yes.
you'd like to start with here?
I do, Jer. I reviewed the 2 reports that were sent over, and it's still not, in my opinion, it's not at the point where we're ready to move him to certification. The first property I looked at was, I think it's 55 Westview. Just some crazy things that just aren't expected. Like his range of listings and comps, the property value was somewhere in the $300,000 range. His comparable selection went from $100,000 to $500,000. That's not a range of comparables for a $300,000 property. And this was kind of like a small one. It was like, okay, I've seen people do that before. It's not the right way to do it, but the thing that bothered me more was moving on to the second appraisal that he did, which is 25 Plants Dam Road.
Linda, may I interrupt a moment, please?
Yes,
To
yes.
Mr. Hagan, let's give him an opportunity to respond to your
respond to
first
that?
question
Okay.
on that property, in fairness to him. Mr. Hagan?
Yep, so I was just looking, are you talking about on page, above the comps of just the,
Yes,
my
above-
original range? So
Yep.
that's like my original initial search of, it was, if you look on the 1004 MC, I searched 1,700 to, I think, 2,600 square feet. And so
Right.
that's my broad view, you know? So that was everything. Obviously, I didn't consider $100,000 sale comparable once I saw the property, but
Then that number should have been changed. That's not a number that you're saying, I'm gonna start here and look there. It actually says listings that are comparable, sales that are comparable. You know, it's asking for that information. So you already know a lot of information about the property, and just your search for under those range of what that property has should have narrowed that down a little more.
Okay.
But I'm more concerned with 25 Plants Dam Road.
okay.
This one was just plain sloppy. There was like a blank page in the report. That's just carelessness. But the thing that bothered me the most is I'm looking through the report and it's looking really good. And it's noted in the report that the subject has 1,296 square feet. So great, everything said 1,296 square feet until you get to the sketch page, and the sketch notes that the property is 1,008 square feet. Much smaller than the, 25% smaller than what he quoted as being the square footage. So when I looked it over, I realized that what had happened is the square footage of the property and the garage was included to come up with the 1,296 square feet. That's just not, it's just so careless. This is coming up now with a totally different value. There was another comment on there that, things need to be explained. When you're making an adjustment or you're not making an adjustment, you need to explain in either case why you made the adjustment or why you didn't. Two of the comps had electric heat. Electric heat is known to be, in many cases, an issue for homeowners. No adjustments at all. It was all equal. So I'm just concerned that we still aren't getting to the point where there's real dedication into making sure that everything in the single report is accurate. Shauna, did you look at these at all?
Linda, let me just stop. Let Mr. Hagan try to
Oh, okay.
respond to
Okay,
your
fine.
questions or comments and so forth.
Well, I'm trying to look at the back of the sketch. I'd be quite embarrassed if I included the GLA of the garage. So
Well, that's the only two numbers that make it come out to 1296.
yeah, I'll have to. I'll have to look at that again. That'd be like I said, just embarrassing if that's what I did. As far as the I think I did adjust for the electric baseboard. I had $3,500 adjustments on there.
On the electric baseboard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is
Well,
Dan
they-
Redner, the supervisor. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. When in regards to, the 1004 MC, there are multiple ways to look at, how to put that data together. Some appraisers will take out anomalies. Some appraisers don't. There really isn't like 100% guidance on what to do with that data. And what I have been doing over the years is to include all the data, because you know, you can easily manipulate the market conditions if you start to deselect certain properties within a market segment. So we were looking at market segment, you know, and this has been discussed, you know, in a lot of educational situations, and there's no solid guidance that says, okay, you know, you need to take out, you know, these things. I've gone more on the purist side of, okay, let's look at all the sales within a specific market segment and then report that data as far as the market conditions go.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Redner.
Okay.
All right. Linda or Sean, I didn't mean to cut in on either one of you. Is there more or other thoughts?
No, I think I'm just concerned about this. This is the second visit here. The reports did not pass the last time. Making a 200 square foot adjustment error on a little tiny house is a big mistake.
Okay.
So I'm concerned that there's not, and here's where I'm really concerned. His supervisor signed that report, so I'm assuming he read it, and he didn't catch the mistake either. It just, to me, that's just really careless, and that's not acceptable.
Okay. Shauna, is there, or you were going to say something? I think I cut you off before, so my apologies. Go ahead.
I did review it, and overall, I thought it was much better. But as Linda points out, the biggest mistake is the square footage of the property. I mean, that has a tremendous effect on an appraisal, and you talk about misleading. That's just one mistake you cannot make. You cannot make a mistake on the living space. It just changes everything else about the property.
Was that let me ask, when you reviewed, was that a one-off from the reports that we've looked at? Or is there a consistent theme with other reports under your review?
I think there's just a theme where that it's not really, it's, if two people are looking at this report and they don't see the errors in it, something is wrong. And they need something so that they understand, you know, they understand what they're getting wrong. You know, this is a 25% increase in the size of the dwelling.
Okay.
And this is a fairly simple report. I mean,
Right.
could you imagine if it was a complex report? I mean, the first thing I was like, well, should go pretty simple. I just don't know how you make a mistake like that. That's
John and Norris, do you have any questions for Mr. Hagan or comments?
No, I'm good.
I'm good.
Okay. Linda and Shauna, any other thoughts? Okay. Mr. Hagan and Mr. Redner. Yes, I'm sorry. Someone was saying something.
We've done this previously with some appraisers who are having trouble. If they want, if Mr. Hagan is willing to send in some reports throughout the next month that we can look at, we might be able to get him in the right direction.
Okay, why don't we first take care of a motion and a vote on this application first, and then, you know, Mother Linda kind of comes in, I understand. But Mr. Hagan and Mr. Redner, any thoughts that you've heard what has been said, and I want you to make sure you have the floor to make any comments or thoughts or what have you.
I'll just make a comment. Like I totally appreciate the feedback. You know, you guys have made me look at a few things like this one, it will be new too, like I was originally with that 1004 MC starting with the wide, and I get that it makes sense. Like, oh yeah, why don't you just take in the ones that are the most similar? So that'll be good going forward. And then, yeah, I just need to look at this GLA thing again. And like I said, if I made a mistake, I am completely embarrassed, because that's ridiculous. I'm really embarrassed if that's the case. I'm trying to
Tim,
look
what
at
did
the stuff.
Tim, what did we report the GLA on this as?
1296, and my sketch is 1008.
Okay.
So I don't know if I did something wrong, or like she said, I added the garage, and I can't believe I would do that. But maybe I just made a
You're
mistake.
not the first person to make a mistake like that, so don't beat yourself up over it. It's just that our job is to make sure that you're the best you can be when you get that certification.
Yeah, but I feel like I've never made that mistake and then make that mistake and send it to you guys. It's a little silly.
But I do think the reports are much better this time around than
Yeah,
last
and
time.
I took into account what Shauna had said too, and it made me rethink the lot size adjustments, and seems to be working out, and the age adjustment.
It was definitely improved, but
Yeah.
we just need to get you to that point where we know you're not going to come back here with a complaint against you at some point.
Right.
Just because it was done so well, so much better,
Right.
I make a motion that he comes back next month and sends us another 2.
Okay, that's a motion on the floor. Shauna has made a motion. Okay, do I hear, and Shauna, you're saying, so you're denying here, but want them back for next month with 2 more
Right.
samples. Am I correct with
Right.
that?
Just because it was a major mistake. I mean,
Okay.
we have to make sure that that's not the pattern. I don't think so, but we have to make sure.
Okay. Do I hear a second to Shauna's motion?
I'll second it.
Linda has made a second. Any comments?
I have a,
Commission members.
would he be able to, as we've done in the past, provide those samples to one of you, Shauna or Linda, during the course of the month for review or anything before he comes back?
And always do that. I'm sure Linda and I would be available. December is the last of my tough months. After that, I get more free, but I would try to look at it.
I'm just sitting here pretending to be retired, so.
Can I maybe email a couple to you guys before the next one and just check it out?
Yeah, anything we can do to put you on the right track to make sure that everything is okay.
Sounds good. Linda R., would you be able to send me their email or something? Okay.
Yeah, I can do that. And next month's meeting is Wednesday, the 13th. So you
Okay,
know.
let's hold on just a moment, folks. We have a motion and a second on the floor and comment period. John, is there anything more that you had other questions?
No, I'm fine.
Okay, Norris?
I'm good.
Okay, very good. Then I will call for a vote. The motion is by Shauna, second by Linda, that this is a denial and would like to put them on the agenda for next month and offering at least 2 other samples. The vote on that is ayes.
Aye.
Aye.
Nay? Okay, nays? Abstentions? Okay, the motion passes. Now we go through the specifics. I turn to you, Linda Robitaille, to go through the process and procedures that you would want it to be followed.
Okay, so if he wants to send a couple more samples ahead of time for Linda or Shauna to review, I will email you their email addresses. That's not a problem. And the 2 for the whole commission to review, the meeting's the 13th, so I would need them like a week beforehand. If you can send me them, a week ahead of time, then I will forward them to the commission for review.
Okay.
Mr. Hagan, will that work
And
for your
Terry Jo will
schedule?
put you, I'm sorry, what?
Mr. Hagan, will that work for your schedule? Do you
Yeah.
understand?
Yep.
Okay. Do you have any other questions, Mr. Hagan?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for coming. I know this is a a challenge at times, and but we have folks who are really trying to help you here, and I'm sure your sponsors as well. And it's just, we look forward to seeing you next month and hopefully for positivity. Okay.
Yeah, same.
All right. We wish you nothing but you and your sponsor, Mr. Redner, a very happy and more healthy holiday season.
You guys too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. I have nothing more under the old business on the agenda put forth, but I have the next item to be legal, which is a legislative legal update.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I don't have any other legislative update other than to say that the jurisdictional exception issue that we had discussed at our last meeting was put forth, submitted for review, and I think we're all set with that.
Okay. Are there any questions from the commission members with Vicky on the legislative or legal updates?
Jerry, can we just get a little synopsis of what this is? I don't even remember what the jurisdictional filings were for.
Well, let me say that John Galvin is in a better position to provide the summary than I am. He's on. So John, can you give us an overview?
Yeah, this was the stuff that we talked about last month, Linda, where we with the banks raising the de minimis level to 500,000 and requiring evaluations underneath 500,000. And there's a problem with appraisers. We can't do those evaluations because they don't necessarily comply with USPAP, and the banks can't call them appraisals because it triggers off a whole level of reporting required by the banks, which they're trying to actually get around because of their loan loss, the reality of loan loss on these loans. So this is a regulations to allow us to exempt appraisers who are complying specifically, who are doing specifically evaluations underneath this Dodd-Frank portion of the bill only. And that way, these things are getting done by licensed and certified appraisers in the state of Connecticut, as opposed to right now, they're being done by firms outside of the state. And I've gotten feedback from the banks that they're just not happy with them, not satisfied with them, but they need something, and they're in a real bind right now because of this. They can't use a restricted report because of these reporting requirements, yet they're trying to get an appraiser's opinion that they trust. So,
thank you. Now I remember what we were doing with this.
yeah. And Vicky, one more time, I'm sorry to hold you guys up, but Vicky, what did you say? It's moving along? There was no holdup?
There is no holdup, yes. Our legislative person is actually on. I don't want to put him on the spot, Jerry Padula. He could probably provide a better summary as to where it is, but I believe that it has been submitted for review.
Okay.
Jerry, would you like to give us a quick update?
Yeah, I believe it still has just been submitted and we haven't had any movement since then. I could provide any other details through Linda if you'd like, with more specifics if that's okay, and she could send it out to the members.
Thank you.
Okay, that sounds good, Jer.
Okay.
Thank you. And thank you for finding time to be with us here today. We
No
appreciate
problem.
it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Jerry.
You're welcome.
Okay, if there's nothing more on the legal side, okay, from what I'm looking at the agenda, let me make sure before we get into the CE audit formal hearings process here. We've covered all matters. I'm asking that to make sure that's the case with Linda and Terry Jo and Vicky. We've covered our bases before we get into this arena.
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't have anything else.
Yes, we
Okay,
have.
great. Okay, now we come into the CE audit formal hearings, which was number 2 under legal. We have 5 components here in A, D, E, F, and H cases. But before I jump into that, we had a hearing notice from a Marion, I'm going to mispronounce it, Goles, G-I-O-L-E-S. If my memory serves me correctly, that was to be carried over from last month to this month because Ms. Golis was not, couldn't get on the internet or on our program or whatever the case may be. There was an issue of some sort. So Vicky, I turn that over to you. And I know that there's a process or procedure that we are to follow. So I don't want to misstep, and therefore I need guidance, okay, where we go with this one first.
Okay, as we stand now, I am calling her on the phone to put her on the speakerphone. A part of the problem was that she did not have access to internet, and as a result, we weren't able to contact her, but I have called her. I'm calling her now as we speak, and I think we'll be able to proceed as soon as I'm able to connect with her. Hi, good morning.
Hi.
Hi, this is Vicki Bullock from the Department of Consumer Protection.
Right.
Can you hear me well?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I'm going to add you to the conversation, if I may, and I want to make sure that the commission members can hear you.
Okay.
Can everybody hear?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So as it stands right now, in this particular instance, the applicant did not have, the licensee credential holder did not have access to an internet service. So I told her I would call her. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to connect with her last time. So I sent her a notice and asked her to be available for today's meeting.
Very good.
We are
go
ready
ahead.
to proceed.
Okay. Okay. Ms. Golis, Vicky, I do not have the new format that was presented in front of me.
Jerry, she said, can you speak a little louder?
Fair enough. Can you hear me, Ms. Golis?
As far as I can tell, yes, I can hear you now.
Very good. Thank you. At any time that you are not hearing any of us during this process, please do not hesitate to let us know. It's okay to interrupt, okay? It's okay.
I can discern what you're saying, I believe.
She said it's
Okay.
weak, but she can discern what you're saying. So Jerry, please speak as loud as you possibly can.
Okay, Ms. Golis, I will do that. Thank you, Vicky. My name is Jerry Rasmussen. I'm the acting chair for the Appraisal Commission. Today it is December 9th, 2020, and we have a complaint here or a case number. I'm asking from
Can I sort of speak in terms of what I have experienced? I wrote a letter dated April 21st, April 2nd, excuse me, 2020, to the Department of Consumer Protection License Services Division, explaining the problems I encountered because Theirs Institute had to cancel all the courses that I paid for and could not proceed.
Yes.
And I
yes.
explained about the situation.
Hi.
Go ahead.
Just one moment. Yes, you will be able to present your case, but before you do, the chairperson has to go through some formalities to put some things on the record, if you will. So if you could just hold 1 second, you will have all the time that you need to explain, but there's a procedure. He needs to speak first.
Okay, I understand
Oh, yeah.
now.
Yep, that's
I
fine.
didn't realize that. I thought I was saving time.
No, that's fine. Yep, let him speak and then we'll let you speak. It will not be a problem. Thank
Okay.
you. Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
no problem. Again, this is a hearing.
The connection is weak, so I can barely hear him.
Jerry, you're gonna have to speak louder. She says she cannot hear you.
The hearing as of December 9th, 2020. The case number, I need a little assistance. This is 2020 Linda Robitaille, can you let us?
175.
Yeah, 175.
175 is the case here. This is, and I'm going to ask Linda very quickly here to give a very quick overview of the case for the members of the commission.
Okay, what I would like to do, if I may, is to make sure that everybody is aware that a complaint was sent and that there was a formal process in which she was the credential holder. And can you please pronounce your last name?
My name, Giolis.
Giolis? Okay, in which Ms. Giolis was provided with a copy of a complaint. I would ask Terry Jo, she has that up. I think that was, I would like to admit all of that evidence if I may. There was a copy of the complaint that was sent. There was also a notice for today that was also sent. I would ask that those be entered into the record, if you will, as exhibits to provide documentation that Ms. Golis was made aware of the proceedings for today. Is there any objection?
None?
Okay, if there's no objection, then I ask that the complaint be made Exhibit 1 and today's notice be made as Exhibit 2. The only other documentation that I would ask be admitted is Ms. Golis's response. She did provide a response to the department, a letter that was handwritten that the department received on November 11th. I would ask that that be made Exhibit 3 if there's no objection. Ms. Golis, are you aware of the complaint? Did you receive a complaint?
Yes,
Okay, and you did provide the department with a letter that was
Yes.
handwritten and sent to us. Is that correct?
yes, with all the attachments.
With all of the attachments, correct?
yeah.
Okay. All right. So before we begin, I would just ask that Ms. Golis was just state her name and spell her last name for the record.
Marion Giolis, Marian Gioles.
Okay, and just indicate your present address, if you will.
123 Ridgeberry Road, Ridgefield, Connecticut, 06877.
Thank you. And you, because you're here, you are aware of today's opportunity, if you will, to be heard. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, but nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, okay. Now, I can ask the investigator to begin, Mr. Chairman, if you will, just to ask her what the process entailed, if that would, help to have a complete record, if you will.
Please do.
Okay. Linda Robitel, can you please state your name?
It's Linda Keft Robitel. My last name is Kieft-Robitaille.
Okay. And could you state your current position with the Department of Consumer Protection?
Real estate examiner.
And as part of your responsibilities as an examiner, are you required to review compliance with the continuing education audit for contingent holders in Connecticut?
Yes, every 2 years.
Okay. And can you tell us what was required for the 2018-2020 cycle?
They must have completed a total of 28 hours, a 7-hour use PAP, either the 3-hour or the 4-hour appraisal law course, depending on when they completed it, and then the remaining balance of 17 or 18 hours of electives.
Okay. And what was the time frame for the compliance?
Between May 1st, 2018 and April 30th of 2020, and before they actually renewed their license.
Okay. And in this particular instance, did you have an opportunity to review the records of Ms. Golis?
Yes, I did.
And what did you find?
She renewed her license in April and at that via mail, and at that time submitted some CE courses, but not all of the required courses.
Okay, and at some point in time, did you send her a letter, or mail her a letter of your concerns?
Actually, I did not. Before the letters went out, she forwarded her remaining CE courses.
Okay, all right, so she provided you with the documentation?
Before we sent the letter stating that as she had no email address, it was going to be mailed to her. And before that, she did actually send in the remaining CE with a cover letter.
Okay, and in that cover letter, did she indicate to you what her concerns were?
That she had not been able to complete the CE prior to renewal due to COVID, that in-person classes were canceled and she did not have access to a computer at that time.
Okay, and looking at her record, is she considered a, could she be a senior citizen or a retiree status?
She could have applied for that, yes, based on her age. She could have asked for a retiree status where CE would not have been required.
Okay. All right. At this point in time today, as we speak, is she in compliance with the requirements?
Yes, she completed all the CE requirements.
Okay. But was those requirements fulfilled after the deadline date?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, those are all the questions that I have for Ms. Robitel as the examiner. Ms. Golis, do you have any questions that you want to ask of Ms. Robitel?
Well, the only thing I would ask is that I submitted the courses that I completed. I explained to the state what I could not do because of the crisis, and that I would do the best I could to complete the remaining as soon as possible, which I did, and I submitted the additional credits. I went and hired computer service to be able to do this, and I thought when I submitted my letter on April 2nd, I thought that I was granted the extension by, not definition, but by explanation of the problems that I encountered, and that they sent me my license renewal based on the information I submitted, and I thought that was it. So now I'm at a loss as to why I'm subjected to this hearing and to this non-compliance, if you will.
Well, the reason for the non-compliance is because the courses were completed after the deadline date, and the department, if they're completed afterwards, has to bring it before the commission. That's what our requirements are.
Well, I didn't know that. I thought that they extended the time for me based on the information I submitted, that I'm a senior citizen, I was homebound, the classes were canceled. I was trying to find a way to get around this in order to complete, but it was impossible to complete the requirements by the deadline. That's all.
Okay. I don't have any other questions of Ms. Robitel at this time. Ms. Goyles, if there's anything else that you would like the commission to know about your situation, please provide that information at this time.
None. I have not provided any appraisal services because of the crisis. I have not done anything to jeopardize my professional standing.
Okay. Is there anything relative to your ability to be able to do the appraisal work if it were granted, or no, because of the limitation with having a computer?
Well, I am trying to replace my computer system, but it takes time, and because of this continual problem and fear, if you will, I'm not able to get the professional service that I need in order to reestablish a computer system for myself. So that's a limitation, but it will be overcome, hopefully, by the time that this crisis is over and I can get professional help to do that.
Okay. So at this time, you would be asking the commission to waive any requirement for your classes being late, is that correct? Or having taken the courses late?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Sincerely.
All right. Is there anything else you would like the commission to consider? You're saying to waive the fine. There is a fine that's automatically associated with any coursework that's taken late. Are you asking for a waiver of that coursework? I mean, a waiver of that fine related to the coursework.
I'm asking for the waiver of the fine because, in my opinion, I did the best I could. I did comply as soon as I could, and I asked the commission to waive this penalty.
Okay.
Or fine, whatever you want to call it.
Okay, that's fine. I don't know if there's any other questions. I think that the commission members were provided with the written correspondence that the department did receive on November 12th, I believe it was, or 12th, that was submitted with the agenda. If everybody has had a chance to take a look at that, I think Terry Jo has it up, but it was sent. If everybody had a chance to take a look at that to help them evaluate the situation. I don't know if any of the other commission members have a question, or if they just want a minute to read over the information, or please talk to me. I can't read your mind.
I have a question.
Please
I know-
identify yourself.
Oh, sorry, Linda Sepso. On the letter that's written, there were some classes that were completed by April 2nd. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then the rest of the classes weren't completed until, what, September something? Is that right?
I believe so.
I think,
Ms. Goyles, do you know when it was that you had
yeah,
completed?
my letter is dated September 10, but the classes were completed before then. I'm looking at the certificates. Okay, one was completed on September 9, 8/25 was
Okay.
the other one.
Okay. How were you able to complete those classes? Were they in class?
I went and hired computer time from Staples after I found out that Staples was able to provide the service. I didn't know until then that they could.
I didn't know.
And I coordinated it with Bears Institute because I had prepaid all of these courses, and so they provided me with access to their partner, the services Hondros Academy or College of Business.
Okay, so you actually went to Staples and completed the coursework after you had
Yes,
coordinated it. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Linda, do you have any other questions?
Jerry,
no.
can you speak louder?
Yeah, I'm screaming. Linda, do you have any other questions?
I'm sorry, can you
Well, you see, Jerry, the chairperson said, are there any other questions?
Oh.
Jerry, I was just wondering how the rest of the classes could have been completed, but I understand now what she was able to use made it possible. So these classes then were online classes?
All of the classes were online classes, Mrs. Goyles?
Yes, the remainder, that the needed credits were done online. Yes, it was through Staples.
Okay.
The previous ones were completed in person or physical, whatever you want to call it, through the Bears Institute classes that were provided here and there in Fairfield County.
Okay.
And can I, just John Galvin, can I just confirm, she said she didn't do any appraisal work during this time period? Where she signed any reports during this time period? Is that correct?
Ms. Goyles,
Yes, I heard the question.
Okay.
Yes, that is correct. I did not.
Any other commission members have questions? Shauna, Norris?
I'm good.
Shauna, you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
All right. If there are no other questions, then, Vicky, my thoughts were that then we would close this and then take this into consideration with the other cases that we had. We tabled from last month, so we were looking at consistency in our discussion, in our deliberation and decisions.
yes, that is correct. And I do know that you have a script. I know we're a little, less formal in terms of that. But at this time, I would just ask if Ms. Goyles has any other comments or any other thing that she would like the commission members to consider. And if so, to please state, before this part of the proceedings, if you will, are over.
No, I do not.
Okay. Okay. I have no further questions.
We thank you for your time.
My time, thank you for your time. I'm sorry that the commission had to go through this. I don't know what to say. Why?
Well, I think a part of it, just so you understand the process, the department does not have the ability to just waive the fines. That has to come before the commission. So as a result, that's the reason why we had to go through this procedure. Unfortunately, and also to be consistent with the other credential holders. Yes.
Yes.
So you are allowed to stay on, if you will. As my understanding, they may be discussing this issue along with the other cases today. So you're welcome to stay on to listen to the
Oh, no, I
outcome.
don't think it's necessary unless you require it.
It's your option.
No, I don't. So I can.
Thank you.
This is it. Are we finished?
Yes, if you are finished, if you choose not to
Okay.
remain
All
on
right,
the
then.
line, then
Okay.
we will get back in contact with you in writing to let you know
Okay.
of the commission's decision. Thank you
All
so
right.
much for your time.
Thank you very much for your consideration, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, can you folks hear me?
Yep.
Okay, all right, we have now 5 cases before us. Case A, which is 2020-87, case D as in dog, case 2020-146, case E, which is 2020-175, which we just heard, case F, 2020-183, and case H, case 2020-191. Being that it was a month ago, I'm going to ask Linda Robitaille to give us a very brief description of each one. 87, what the issue was, 146 for the issue. We've just heard 175, 183, and 191. So then we will open it up for discussion amongst the commission members, but I want you to give a quick overview so we're all fresh of
Okay.
what we're dealing with.
Okay, so 2020-87. He, in 2018, he had not completed the appraisal law course. He took it late, paid the fine. And so for this cycle, he resubmitted that same course, which he could not do. So he had to retake it on November 9th, and he's looking to waive the fine. And he stated that in July, he was affected by COVID. So that's that one. Case 146.
May I interject for one quick question?
Yep.
So I understand he or she, number 187, has met the requirement on the course, has gone back and made that
Right.
course up?
He's made the course up. He's looking to waive the penalty.
Fair enough. Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
That's okay. 146, he renewed his license on April 30th. He completed the law course on May 1st. It was early morning, 12:05 a.m. He is looking to waive the fine. In 2016, he had a civil penalty for the CE.
Okay.
175, we just heard. Do you need me to refresh that one?
I think we're okay.
Okay. 183, he is looking to waive the fine. He submitted 12 hours of CE that was approved for salespeople and brokers, but not approved for appraisers. He has not done any additional work, so he has 19 hours of approved CE at this point. Of the 12 hours he submitted, 6 of it was their mandatory course, and 6 of it was courses that we had reviewed and denied.
Okay.
And then the last one, 191, he is looking to appeal the fine. He sent a letter. He was affected during the cycle by COVID. He was licensed in 2019. At that time, he was sent an email with what CE he needed, which included the appraisal law course. He has not yet completed the law course.
Has that law course been completed as we sit today?
Not that I have. I have not received it.
Okay.
Interject. I sent you over my law course last time.
Oh, did you? I'm sorry then. Then I do have it. If he said, I trust that he sent it then.
Okay. Fair enough. That's 191, is that correct?
Correct. So then he is in compliance now.
Okay. All right, thank you. I now.
I'm looking at old notes.
Thank you. That's all right. Now I open it up to my fellow commission members for discussion. Any thoughts amongst our body?
John Galvin, I have no questions. I've kind of made up my mind which way to go in each case.
Okay. Norris?
You can do each one
Oh,
of
I'm
these at a
sorry. Go
time.
ahead, Shauna. Go ahead,
I just
Shauna.
want to know, are we going to handle each one at a time? We're
Yes.
not going to do them blanket.
Yes.
No,
Yes,
each one
we
at a
will.
time.
Okay. Norris, any thoughts you would like to share? Is Norris on?
Did we lose him? No, I think he's still on.
Okay.
Is
Well-
he muted?
He may be Casper the Ghost.
Him on the list.
Not muted.
Okay.
I'm here.
Oh,
Oh,
there you
good.
go. Any thoughts, Norris? Any questions? You want any opinions to express?
I'm good.
Okay. Linda, any thoughts, questions?
Linda Sepso.
Yes.
No, I've sort of been pondering on how we're going to handle these, but
Okay,
each one seems a little different than the next.
understandable. As you know, I only vote in the event if there's a tie under the rules as it's been explained to us, or the procedures and so forth. But in my opinion, I think we should take into consideration two things when we go through each one. One, this has been a year unlike any other year we could ever imagine. And with the hurdles, for lack of a better word, that all of us have had to go through, including our representatives and so forth. I am pleased that we have done a full audit and hear that we're down to this point. It's taken a while, but given what we've gotten to here, that we only have 5 of these cases. So I share with Shauna's concern the last couple of years that she has expressed that, you know, we got to look at everything and get everybody up to stump, and that we have put this time in. And Linda has spent all that time with the coursework that we've been doing and so forth. And I couldn't agree more. And John with the legislative side of things. So here we are in December with the 5 portions in front of us. And given what we've got here, I just think we got to make sure we take into account the dang hurdles that none of us ever dreamt would occur beginning in or around the 15th of March. So that being said, that's all I'm going to say on that. But let's take each case on its own merits. We'll start with, on our agenda, A as in Apple, case 2020-87. Does anyone want to make a motion or a consideration?
I make a motion that we do not waive the fee for 2020-87.
We have a motion by John to make a motion not to waive the fee. Okay.
I'll second it.
And was that Shauna?
Yeah.
Okay, Shauna seconds. Discussion? Hearing none, we will do a vote. We'll do individual so we don't misprint it. John?
No. I mean, yes, with the motion, I agree.
You agree with the motion, okay. You threw a
Yes.
curveball at me. Okay, Shauna?
Aye.
Linda? Linda Sepso?
Yes.
Okay. That was a yes for the motion. Norris?
Aye.
Okay, the motion passes for case 2020-87. Moving now to D as in day, case 2020-146. Do I hear a motion for this case?
John Galvin, I make a motion that we waive the fee for 2020-146.
John has made a motion to waive the fee on case 2020-146. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Norris has seconded the motion. Any comments or thoughts?
Is this the one that did it right after midnight?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, any other thoughts or questions? Hearing none, we'll go through the roll call. John?
Yes.
Norris?
Aye.
Shauna?
Aye.
Linda?
Yes. That makes me feel like a pirate.
Did I hear her say yes?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. Therefore, the motion for case 2020-146, the fine has been waived. Okay. Next on our agenda, E as an elephant, case 2020-175. Do I hear any comments or a motion on case 175? That is the one we've just heard a few moments ago.
John Galvin, I make a motion that we waive the fee for 2020-175.
We have a motion by John on case 2020-175 to waive the fee. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
I hear a second from Norris. Comments, questions, or thoughts?
Well, I'm gonna have a hard time with this one because this one, I think I know it's a unique year, but it's a slippery slope, so I'm going to be voting no against this one.
Okay. Any other thoughts or questions? Okay, hearing none, I will now take a roll call of the vote. John?
I vote yes that we waive the fee.
Norris?
Aye.
Shauna?
Nay.
Linda?
Yes.
By a vote of 3-1, the motion does pass to waive the fee on case 175. Moving now next to the case of, I think it's F as in Frank, case 2020-183.
John Galvin, I make a motion that we do not waive the fee for 2020-183.
John Galvin has made a motion on case 183 to not waive the fee.
I'll second that.
Was that Shauna? I'm sorry, I was
Yeah.
writing. Okay,
Yeah.
Shauna has seconded that motion. Comments, thoughts?
I guess the only
Gary?
other,
Can I just step in here for a second? And
outside of here,
he has 19 hours without the courses that were not approved. I think the motion needs to include whether he needs to complete the remaining courses or not.
So this is John Galvin. I amend my,
I would think that he,
can I amend the motion or can we wait? I amend the motion to say that we do not waive the fee and that 2020-183 has to complete the courses in order to maintain his license.
I'd like to add something to that. That the
Like a
courses
date.
that he-
Well, let's wait a moment, Linda. I gotta ask the process. He's amended his motion. I have to go to Shauna if she's going to say and open the document, okay?
yeah, well, my thought is we need a date when he has to complete them by.
Okay, so So you're not seconding that motion, right, Shauna? I just want to make sure the
Right.
process is correct.
Yeah, I guess not, because it needs a date.
Right, okay. Now, Linda, go ahead. Now we're open for discussion.
No, well, I would like to add to this motion that the courses that he takes to make up what he missed from the last cycle cannot be used in the current cycle.
Right.
Well, that's all right.
Yeah, that's always the case.
Okay,
John?
I didn't know if that had to
Okay,
be.
I
good to be
amend
there.
my, does, anybody else have anything to say before I amend the motion? Okay, I amend the motion that we do not waive the penalty for 2020-183, that he has to continue, has to complete all the courses to meet the requirements to renew his license by March 30th, 2021, and that the courses that he take cannot be double counted for his next cycle. It can only be applied to the previous cycle that he did not comply with.
So let me repeat the motion, John, that you are not waiving the fee, the penalty fee, and that he or she must make up the coursework to be completed by March 30th of 2021. And those classes that he does make up do not count in the next renewal cycle. Do I have that correctly?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, can I just say one thing? March has 31 days. I don't know if that matters. That's number one. Number two, what is the timetable to pay the fee? If it's not waived, then what is the timetable to pay it?
Well,
What would be, Vicky, what's the time frame for all the other ones that have not been waived?
Well, that's to be determined by you guys. But if you're making the motion, I guess we just want to make sure that it's consistent, whatever it's going to be.
Yeah,
It's
why don't
generally
we get
15
through all-
days.
Okay,
Okay, so are we changing it to March 31st because it's 31 days? Or no, you still want it March 30th? That's the only thing. I'm looking at the calendar.
that's John's call. He's made the motion.
Is March 31st, what day is that?
March 31st, 2021 is either, I think it's maybe, it's a Wednesday.
Okay, March 31st. I amended to say March 31st.
Okay.
Are we clear with the motion for everyone? Can I hear a second?
I'll
I'll
second.
second.
Okay, Norris beat you to the punch here. Okay, so we have a motion, a second. Now comments, questions. Hearing none, we will begin the roll call. John,
Yes, aye.
Norris,
Aye.
Shauna,
Aye.
Linda. Linda Setso. Okay. Thank you. So that's 183. Then we have the last case, H as in horse, case 2020-191.
This is John Galvin. I make a motion that we do waive the fee for 2020-191.
Okay. John has made a motion for case 2020-191 to waive the fee. Do I hear a second? Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Norris has seconded. Okay, comments and questions.
Just trying to understand what's your logic about waiving that, John?
He got COVID in March. He got COVID.
I thought they
early.
said July.
No, he got COVID again in July. He got
Oh,
this
again.
twice. So this guy is taking a beating. I have a son who has gotten COVID twice. I know what this does to somebody. I'm sorry.
No, I thought he had it in July. I
This
thought he
guy-
had it in July.
This guy should be waived, in my opinion. I think he's I think this, as a commission, I think our job is to reach out and do the right thing sometimes. And I think this is one of those things where it's the right thing. I know we're protecting the consumer, but I don't see any threat to him waiving the fee that it's going to impact the consumer.
Yeah, I just thought he had it in July, so, thank you.
Are there any other questions? This is good to have this discussion now here. Hearing none, then I will now go to the vote. Oh, was there a question? I'm sorry. I guess not. I thought I heard something. My apologies. John,
Aye, yes.
Norris,
Aye.
Shauna,
Aye.
Linda?
Yes.
Yes. So that goes unanimous here. Okay, I want to make sure that I check with Vicky and Linda Robitaille and Mary Jo that I have not missed any cases that are before us that are on the agenda or may have slipped the agenda.
No, we have them all.
All
Okay.
cases have been heard and have been addressed.
Now, one of the things we must look at here is for consistency purposes. And that is, we have some that there are motions that we did not waive the fine. So what we need to put in place here is a motion to when these fines should be paid for. And I'm going to ask Vicky, is that fit within the department's legal side? Or we're meeting this standard?
That's correct. As long as it's consistently done and everybody has the same deadline date by which to pay, it's fine. Whatever date you decide. I can tell you, for the most part, it tends to be 15 days, but it's up to you, given, the circumstances of what we have here, but yes.
Fair enough. I open it now to my fellow commission members for discussion. Is there a time frame one wants to take into account?
Does January 15th or January 30th sound unreasonable?
Oh, we wanted to make it earlier.
My thought is, given the holidays and what have you, and given the yuck we've all gone through, I have no problem in January. I don't know if I want to make it in December. That's my personal thought.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to throw out there that those of us in business right now, many of us are seeing our receivables increase because it seems to be a lot of, people are being slow to pay because not everybody's in the office running the bills, et cetera. So many of us are seeing a lag in that. And so I think with year end and everybody trying to pay other bills and et cetera, I think it just might make it easier and we might avoid any issues of somebody not being able to pay that we have to deal with later on if we push it off to January.
I don't have
Yeah,
it
should we,
January. I was concerned that we were going to do it later and then they'd have a payment in March and a payment in April for the renewal. So I think January is okay.
Okay, John, you had mentioned January the 15th. I'm looking at a calendar. Is that not Martin Luther King Day or is it celebrated as, I'm just looking at a legal holiday thing here.
The
The
legal
18th.
holiday will be the 18th.
Okay, so the 15th is a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Good day.
Okay. Can I hear a motion of a date and then we'll take it from there to see how it goes?
I make a motion that we make the due date January 15th by the end of the day,
21?
On or before, no later than.
on or before, no later than January 15th, 2021.
Okay, can I have a second?
I'll second. Shauna.
Shauna has seconded it. So the motion is the pay the penalties that were not waived on or before and no later than January the 15th, which is a Friday of 2021. John has made the motion. Shauna has second. Any other comments? Hearing none, we'll go through the roll call. John,
Yes, aye.
Shauna,
Aye.
Linda,
Yes.
Norris.
aye.
Okay. That takes care of that portion. Now, I turn to Vicky. I know there was is there anything else on the legal side that we must address for these cases?
The only thing that I have to state for the record, if you will, is the fact that this action that was taken by the appraisal commission, there is a notice of the ASC requirement to report disciplinary actions to the National Registry. So this has to be reported. It says by statute, the state agency must notify the ASC of such actions as soon as possible, but no later than 5 business days after the disciplinary action is final. So after, it wouldn't happen until January, until such time as the fine has been paid or not paid. That would, be when it would be reported, but the department is required to do that. That's the only thing. And that notice was provided in each of the complaints that went out.
Okay. Now I'm going to ask a question.
I'm sorry, somebody was asking something I didn't hear.
This is Jerry. I'm going to ask a question here. For the folks that we did not waive the fine, do they have a right for an appeal? And if they do, what's that process? I want to make sure we're covering all our bases, T's are crossed, I's are dotted, or is this it?
They want, well, I mean, I guess to say, I mean, could they have another appeal? They could appeal to the commissioner. I mean, you are the commission, but the other hand to this is the commissioner. They could appeal to the commissioner.
Fair enough. I just wanted to know the process. We only go through this once every 2 years, so I just make sure that all of us are aware of where we're at. Okay, it sounds like we've addressed all things here for this matter.
Jerry, I have one question, just to clarify. The people who we have fined, they get reported to the, what is it, Linda?
ASC?
Yeah,
Yes, anyone who pays a fine must be reported to the ASC. That's their requirement.
okay.
But it
So
is reported,
the
it
people
is
who we
reported.
waive, They don't get, they're not
No,
reported.
if we waive the fine, it's not considered a penalty, so they
Okay,
do not get
okay.
reported.
Just want to make sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
And just so it's clear, the ASC does know that it is related to continuing education. It's not based on some competence or some incompetence of the credential holder.
Right.
Yes, so there's a distinction between that. So that's clear.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. Okay, I think we've taken care of under all the legal. Now, comments or concerns for any person present today, or any last matters to come before us?
I don't have anything else.
Okay. Hearing none, then I'm asking for a motion for adjournment.
I'll make the motion.
Norris has made a motion, a second.
Second.
John?
Give it to Linda.
Oh, Linda, okay. Linda gets to second it. Ayes? Nays? Abstentions? We'll try that one more time. Ayes?
Aye.
Okay. Yes, okay. Nays, okay, we're adjourned.